And we're live, hopefully. God, I hope so. Yes, this looks good right away, at least from OBS as far as the network transfer rate, and on YouTube it should be fine. So hello everyone, we're back.
We're good.
Fucking hell. I do think it's worth noting that this is a stream in which I intended to make fun of robots and artificial intelligence a lot, and Google is not pleased with me.
I guess.
So that's what you get when you try and set out to make fun of robots.
Well, they do deserve it, just a smidge.
Just a smidge, in my opinion, at least.
Mm-hmm. You're starting to turn me to the dark side. I don't know how I feel about this.
You know, I will say, I feel like I tweeted something out very cryptic last week, and I said my views on robots or artificial intelligence are changing, which everyone responded to quite positively. And I didn't know that people were going to respond to it like that, so then I felt the need to clarify shortly after that I never said how they were changing.
Yes, I'm aware.
I just feel like they're changing slightly, but I wouldn't say how. Also, I'll see if I can fix the chat, everybody. 1 second.
Yeah.
There we go. Chat's fixed.
Yay.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your patience. Extra in the chat says that was the shortest stream yet. Yeah, no kidding. But I think we're good now. I think technical difficulties have been resolved. So we're back playing Detroit Become Human. Like, holy shit, you started something here. We blind playthrough last weekend, and I just became obsessed.
Yeah, Jordan has spoiled himself on basically the main plot line to a certain extent.
Oh yeah, I beat the game. Yeah.
I got a text at 3 a.m. being like, holy shit, this game is great.
Yeah. I am, I'm impressed is like, that's an understatement to say impressed. I am just, I'm thoroughly amazed, quite honestly.
Have we made it to the top 10 of your video game list?
You know, it's fluid. It may take some time. Yeah, it may take some time, but I don't, for the love of God, the scaling will just not.
It doesn't work for you.
Do what I want it to.
That's how I feel every time I stream Mass Effect, because it never does quite the right thing, and I got to fiddle with it.
Options section.
But nobody seemed to notice yet, so I'll take that as a good sign. Oh man, this was I've been looking forward to this all week.
Yeah, you know, in a way, I really have been as well. I've been playing it somewhat through the week, but I also got kind of sidetracked by getting really back into
Your parameters
Deus Ex.
have been saved.
Is that because we were talking about it off stream?
Yeah, well, I kind of had, like, when I started telling you about it, it's because I got back into it. And it was something where, like, I kind of had the feel for that sort of, like, android detective kind of a thing, even though Adam Jensen's not exactly an android. That was kind of the...
You
that
just
was
want
kind
to
of
be Terminator.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Terminator is not really a detective, but similar in that vein. And by the way, for everyone watching, if this is really frustrating for you to see me try and get this to scale properly, I promise you it's frustrating for me too.
I find it amusing personally, but that's because I have absolutely no control.
that's you know, that's probably true. It probably is more fun to watch if you don't have to.
I don't know if I
don't
mentioned
have
this,
to fiddle
but
with anything. This is one of the only streams where I'm not in charge, and I'm 100% okay with
really
that.
reflects your personality. I mean,
Haley in the chat says, I'm sad not to see your blind playthrough, but now I'm glad you won't get spoiled. Yeah, so we don't have to worry about spoiling Jordan anymore, so that part's good.
Yeah, well, at least not on some of it. I mean, I think it's possible that I might get spoiled, quote unquote, on some aspects of it, right? Because there are still branches that I just sort of don't. That I'm not aware of, basically.
Yeah. I am bummed though, because a couple of the things you've been spoiled on, I don't want to say what it is, because for a lot of people this is still a blind playthrough for them. They've never played it.
That's exactly it, yeah.
But there are a couple things I know for a fact that you have been spoiled on that I'm kind of sad about. Because it would have been fun to see your reaction in the moment being like, wait, what? Spoiler, it's set in Detroit and it's about androids. You got us, DC guy. Exer says, isn't Jordan always spoiled? I mean, I don't claim to know what your life is like.
I don't even know what that means.
Maybe by your girlfriend? I don't know.
I'm spoiled in the fact that I know everything that's going to happen before it happens. Good point, Xer. Alright, holy shit. Despite all of our difficulties, I think that the robots are finally going to allow me to play this game.
Yay!
I did spoil myself. I did go ahead and I completed the campaign. Wild, crazy, like, I don't want to do the whole recap now, but as we go through it, I will point out some of the things that happened in my first playthrough. That would have been very interesting to watch those things happen live without me knowing what was going to happen, but I also think it would have been brutal
with
for people.
Schrodinger's cat?
I am
Until
honestly
you
really
decide
disappointed
what
that you're not doing a
happens.
blind playthrough of this
Everything is
because
happening at
I would have
once.
loved to see your reaction,
Like in Detroit.
but with some of those quick time events, it's probably better those weren't live because you would have been like, no, wait, I need to redo it now.
No, actually, I don't think I did. I don't think I redid a single QuickTime. I don't think
Really?
I redid a single. I was really impressed. Like, there were some that were really, really tough. But I managed to, I didn't do them perfectly, but I was happy enough with what happened. Yeah, I don't think I reloaded on any of them.
I guess my only curiosity is going to be, how are you going to play this now that you know what happens?
That's a very
Because
good...
you played a very different playthrough than what I did.
Yeah.
Like, radically different.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know how you want to do this one live now.
I think I'm going to be pretty interested. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's jump in. I think we're going to start off with Marcus, and that's kind of a good. That's kind of a good discussion point to talk about as far as
God, I
what
love
want to
Marcus.
plan.
I know you're all about Connor, but Marcus is my boy.
Marcus is dope. I love him.
I think he's my favorite. Out of
Oh
the
wait,
three of them.
where are we?
I don't know. What did you do?
Okay, did it appropriately? I'm not sure what it did, to be quite honest.
You are at the next spot for. You're like 2 spots ahead on Cara.
Yep.
Okay.
So if I go to my chapters, this probably has.
Accessing the story
It
chart.
probably grabbed my other save files that yep, it sure did.
Okay, chat. Don't look at the screen. Nobody look.
Wait a second. No. This is very strange. It has the painter.
That's weird. Well, just load up the painter then.
I mean, that's a good idea, right?
Yeah, because I don't know why it would take you to this part unless it was like skipping ahead in Cara's story.
Well, that is where I left off on... That's basically where I left off on my second personal playthrough, if you will.
Okay.
But that file should... I don't understand how it's grabbing, but it's like grabbing both save folders at the same time is what it's doing.
That's not confusing at all.
No, not
We
at
did
all.
leave off of the painter. We are aware, you guys. Jordan started... He played through the whole game and beat it, and then started another playthrough separate from the one you guys watched. So we're trying to figure out which one's which. And actual Velociraptor, I hope you can read because you typed that.
Oh boy, how did everybody's week go?
Yeah, tell us about you guys. What's everybody been up to? I know that Elena was spending her whole day driving across part of the country to get home. Driving from Louisiana, I think, or to Louisiana. So that was an
Hi, it's
8-hour
good to see
drive,
you
I think,
again.
which is just a
Great
lot.
to start the
Yeah,
weekend
that's
with
a bunch.
Detroit.
No, thank you. I'm good. It takes 5 hours just to get from the bottom of Michigan to
Accessing
the top.
story chart.
Actual Velociraptor, it's my parents' 32nd anniversary today. Well, congrats to your parents. That's tremendous.
That's a long time to put up with each other, man.
Isn't it, though?
I don't know if I could make it that long, let me tell you.
I've only been alive for 30, going on 31 years. Holy shit.
God, you're old.
I don't you know it? I love it, though. I mean, it's really... Honestly, there's no real downsides right now.
Yeah, you're at like the sweet spot.
I am, yeah.
I feel like from like 28, 29 until mid to late 30s is kind of the sweet spot of life.
Accessing
Yeah, I think the next
story
10 years,
chart.
that'll be the real challenge. But, I mean, at this point, it's like, what are the real differences in the, It's not like my body's breaking down. There's not too much difference between 25 and 30. I can't
Hey,
drink
man,
as
talk
much.
for
That's about it.
yourself. I'm 27 and I'm falling apart.
Well, I mean, look, it comes for everybody. Nobody's going to escape it.
I can tell you guys about... Are we good?
I'm going to just restart from the painter because I can't... What the heck? It won't even let me restart it. I don't understand.
It says 0% completed.
Oh, let me just launch the chapter and just, yeah, save from here. Honestly, but I don't know what version of it it's going to...
Give you, yeah.
I really don't know what's happening now.
Yeah, Xer, rub it in. Xer said, don't be mean to Jordan. On the bright side, his hearing isn't shot. You trying to point at people? Because mine is.
I mean, look, not yet, knock on wood, right?
Yeah, if you need a hearing aid, I've got a bright pink one with your name on it.
Ooh, bright pink. Does it have any kind of patterns on it, or is it just solid pink?
It's just like hot pink.
Okay.
I got to choose my color last time. I was really excited about it.
All right, so we're here with Marcus. We picked up the paint last time, and yeah. So I love Marcus, by the way. I will say, obviously, Connor is like my boy and everything, but I liked all the characters.
Yeah, I think Connor, depending on how you play him, can be really, really awesome and interesting. I guess either way he's interesting. I find it more interesting when you play him more, I guess, less literal about everything. So when you play him to be more android, he's just so literal about everything. It kind of drives me nuts. But I love Cara's relationship with Alice, and I love how... I don't know what it is. Just Marcus is so interesting to me. I think because he starts off just being this creative being, and he kind of, no matter how you play him, he just grows.
I agree. I think the thing about Marcus that I really liked, and especially on second playthroughs, I can really see it even more, which is that he seems like he is special. Like, it's almost like he even knows he's destined for something. Carl kind of knows he's destined for something. And that's just really interesting to watch, especially on second playthroughs. I really love this checkmate in 3 moves. Like, he can look at the chessboard and know exactly what to do.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, the interesting thing about Marcus is, depending on your route, you find out that he was actually specially made for Carl.
Yes.
Like, he is a prototype. And because of that, there are no other androids that look like him. There's no copies of him like there are with other ones. And I love how unique he is to start, and then the way Carl kind of shapes him, which everyone will see in this episode.
Yeah, I really appreciated that too. And I do see kind of a parallel between the two. Like, I love this sort of 3-character dynamic that exists, even though they're in very few scenes with each other, between Cara, Connor, and Marcus, in that... Like, Connor and Marcus are clearly both special, right? The RK-800 is also a prototype model. Like, Connor is also not 100% unique necessarily in the same way that Marcus is, but he's a prototype. So it kind of stands to reason that they would both do things that other androids couldn't, whereas Cara, by her model number, is as generic as they come, but of course, as we come to learn, there's something about her that's just different, especially if you consider, like, the prequel... short film and everything. Like, there's just something inherent about her that's different.
Yeah, if you have not seen the prequel of Cara, which was I was about to say heavy read, it was put out by Quantic Dream back in 2012 as sort of like just a how well the current PS, I think it was the 3, how great the graphics were and how quick things moved. It was supposed to be just a little exercise in how great the graphics were and, oh, look at all these things you can do on this new machine. But fans were so adamant that they wanted to actually see her story that was kind of the driving force behind what became Detroit Become Human. Yeah,
and it's I don't know, I love Cara's story in the same sense, in that, like, she's sort of not supposed to be special, but she is. So yeah, I mean, we will get to see more of it here. Let's talk to Carl.
Yeah, wakey. Cara is the Jennifer Lawrence unit. No.
She looks a lot like that. There's clearly some Jennifer Lawrence vibes.
She is a bit, but she's a lot more interesting than Jennifer Lawrence's characters have been.
The weather is partly cloudy, 54 degrees, 80% humidity with a strong possibility of afternoon showers.
It sounds like a good day to spend in bed.
I did go to pick up the paint that you ordered.
Oh, yes, I forgot.
He's just emulating Alexa.
That is the difference between you and me, right, Marcus? You never forget anything.
Show me your arm, please, Carl.
No.
Carl. Thank you.
I just opened my eyes and I'm already gritting my teeth. Humans are such a fragile machine. They break down so quickly. All this effort to keep them going.
Okay. I'll take you to the bathroom.
I don't know if it's just maybe like repetition and sort of getting more comfortable with performances, but I've always found that this is true in movies, shows, video games, doesn't matter what it is, that like I really appreciate the acting on a second viewing, and I think that maybe it's just natural because like you don't have to focus on following the plot as much. You already know what's happened.
I agree with that. Someone in the chat said they think this is Hackett.
It is.
Is it? I didn't know that.
It's Admiral Hackett. Yeah. Lance Henriksen, goddamn legend across film and everything else, and he of course is a part of Mass Effect as Admiral Hackett. And I know you're not there yet, but goddamn, he gives a great speech in Mass Effect 3 towards the end.
I'm ready. Also, Goya says, God, Carl is me, but older and a man. Show me your arm. No! And Exer said, Carl reminds me of Jordan for
Anything
some
special
reason.
on the
I mean, I admire
Yes,
Carl's
there's
living
the
his best
opening of your
life, man.
retrospective at the Museum of Modern Art.
I'm okay with
The
anyone
gallery
being
director
reminded
wrote
of
4
Carl. I think
messages
he's
asking
awesome.
to confirm your attendance.
I haven't decided yet.
Carl's great, and I
We'll see
love
about that
love
later.
Lance Henriksen. It's a
What
fantastic actor, great voice.
Yeah, it's
Just your
got like
usual
that
family.
graveliness of
I've
an older
already
man, but he
answered.
still brings the with it sense of like he's still got all his mental faculties. It's just the legs that don't work.
No,
He's just, he's smooth. He's just smooth.
I can call him if you like.
No. No, don't bother.
Wonderfully Weird says, Marcus reminds me so much of the best doctors and nurses I had when I was a wee
I'm
one.
starving.
You know, kind of
Well,
the
your
same.
breakfast is ready. Bacon and eggs, just the way you like them.
Thank you, Marcus.
You're welcome.
Yeah, he's caring, but he's being earnest. He's not like fulsome about it, and he's also like he's doing his job. He's making sure everything gets done.
I think the thing I appreciate about him is like, I feel like even if Carl were a teenager or a kid, he would treat him the exact same,
Yeah.
which is how I think a lot of kids who might be sick and even older people, like you don't want to be treated like you're an invalid. You want
Right.
to be able to understand what's going on, regardless of your age.
Well, I know that Marcus would treat anyone exactly the same way that he's treating Carl because he's a robot.
Jordan, don't be a dick. Yeah, that's true. Haley says it could be the actor Jesse's experience from Grey's Anatomy. God, I was watching that earlier today too. I love me some Grey's Anatomy, man.
I don't think I've ever watched a full episode of Grey's Anatomy, but I greatly appreciate this gentleman's performance in Become Human. I think it's really great.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It's like probably one of the worst medical dramas there is. Like my stepmom loves some really bad sappy TV shows, and she doesn't even watch Grey's Anatomy. But there's just something about it.
Thank you, Marcus. Television.
Also, I really like the little coffee pot, carafe, whatever you want to call it.
That's how you know it's a good cup of coffee. That's I can't think of the name of it now, but I have one of those.
Why don't
I
you
should
find
admit,
something to
I had
do
a glass of
while I
wine
finish my
before we
breakfast?
started doing this because it was a little
Okay,
bit of a
Carl.
stressful day trying to get the computer working.
I mean, first of all, it's Friday. You're allowed. Ooh, okay, we got to find something to do. Now, I will tell you, I have done piano and I've done reading the book, and I think there's one other thing to do, right?
There is. I personally think piano's my favorite because you actually play themes from the game.
Yes. There's
But
also...
you do whatever you want.
Oh, there's chess, isn't there?
You can play chess with yourself.
Oh, I've not done that one yet. I think I had him read Plato when he went to the books, and I kind of like the ability to like sort of comment on it because I like that idea that Carl is like a teacher, almost like a professor or something, sort of like helping him shape his own thoughts, you know?
Yeah, I like that too. I guess with my playthrough, I was going for more of like, let's try and make him as human as possible. Because I felt like that was probably what Carl was going for. So I had him do the piano because that's such a human thing. You can't picture an android trying to put soul into music, you know?
Yes. So yeah, the first playthrough, I think I just did music just because I was like, what the heck? And then on the second one, on my second personal playthrough, I'm going to try and go for the... Well, okay, so this is where I'm kind of going to start to spoil what I've already done, and I don't know if I should do that for the sake of the audience.
It's your channel. It's your call, man.
All right, let's do this chess thing, and we'll think about it. Chat, how many of you don't mind me sort of jumping ahead and talking about comparison and contrast? Because I'm only going to stream this game once, right? So the audience is only going to get to see one version, and I kind of think that's sort of a shame as this game is concerned. Like, the whole point of this game to me is at least discussing the variations and choices.
I have been contemplating putting this on my list of games to stream on my own channel, so everyone says ruin them with the spoilers.
All right, let's play chess real quick. Marcus the strategist. Oh shit, look at him go.
This is like Bobby Fischer.
Fancy game of chess.
Oh, he's gonna play Carl.
Sure, yeah.
Oh,
Chess.
nice.
Speed chess it is.
Speed chess. I can choose to win, lose, or draw. Did I already forget? I'm gonna win.
Kick his butt. He deserves it.
That's what I call a thorough beating.
Oh, it's
not
speed chess.
easy
Yeah, this is
for
totally like
a
searching for Bobby
computer
Fischer.
machine.
Either justify or sorry. I mean, I'm supposed to win.
Well, I know you don't like losing, and you don't like when I let you win.
Also-
so I felt I didn't have
I'll wait
many
until you're done with
choices.
this and then
True.
I'll tell you.
We humans are complicated. One day I won't be here to take care of you anymore. You'll have to protect yourself and make your choices. Decide who you are and want to become. This world doesn't like those who are different, Marcus. Don't let anyone tell you who you should be. Let's go to the studio.
Real special scene, man. Like, I really, I mean, I've been talking about this on Twitter and elsewhere, but I fucking love this game. And it's interesting that, like, it is interesting to play. It is interesting to sort of make choices and sort of see the outcomes. It's also just a joy to watch the performances, honestly.
God, I love this entire chapter is probably top of my list for just all of the moments in the game. Every moment between Markus and Carl is special. And I don't think there's a single one I dislike, apart from maybe, that one moment. But
There's some that are well, I don't even know if they're bittersweet. They're just bitter. But
yeah.
okay,
The
so
one thing I was going to tell you really quick is my father is watching this stream. And he texted me and he said, as a compliment to you, Jordan, your co-host sounds like a very savvy human being. Just
well,
so you know.
only when I'm streaming on. Can he write that down and send that to my girlfriend so she believes it more?
I could try and get him to do it. No promises, man. I'll send you a screenshot. How about that?
My girlfriend is very proud of me. I kid. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So people in the chat said spoil it. Right? Go ahead and spoil it, which I think is kind of the right decision. The blind playthrough would have been really fun, but part of the reason why I thought it would be interesting to not do the blind playthrough is to comparison and contrast throughout, so I can kind of talk about what I've done on some of the other playthroughs, because I'm now technically starting a second one off stream. So for this one, what I wanted to do, goal number one, nobody get mad at me all at once. Goal number one for this playthrough is I would like for Marcus to survive.
Yes. Why would we be mad about that?
No, I mean, like, mad about it because I killed him in my first one.
Oh, I mean, everyone makes mistakes, Jordan. It's
Oh,
okay.
it wasn't a mistake. Connor was that was the right thing to do. I'm sorry, Marcus had to go.
No. Oh.
Have you
we're
seen
gonna
it? Have you seen that outcome happen?
Yeah, it breaks my heart every time.
Connor says mission accomplished and then shoots him in the head.
Oh,
He says
God.
mission accomplished. And I'm not going to lie, I clapped a little just because he said mission accomplished. Like,
Oh my God.
it was the most badass Blade Runner moment that I had seen from Connor. And I'm like, yes, Connor, embrace your destiny as the ultimate robot cop hunter.
No.
Like
Oh my God, no.
it was like the ultimate ascension to like robot cop badass for Connor. And I was like, I am so about this right now. But at the same time, I was deeply conflicted because the storyline with Marcus is brilliant. Like, it's so brilliant to see him sort of create a movement and like have the option to do it pacifist or have an option to do it more violently. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. So in all honesty, it was like sort of heartbreaking, but I had made the decision that I wanted to role play Connor as being driven by the mission, right? Not necessarily quote unquote a machine, but like he has a goal in mind, and that's what his ultimate aim is to complete the goal, to complete the mission. So I thought that was highly interesting to sort of the game allows you to sort of push Connor towards what is undoubtedly a darker direction, and it allows you to sort of kick the stool out from underneath Marcus, who is sort of becoming like the savior figure. Which is like, that's kind of fucked up, but it's also kind of amazing that the game lets you do that.
It is, but you're forgetting about the other person. You also have to technically, well, I guess you are not the reason they die, but you kind of are.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Everyone's beloved human being, Hank.
Oh God, you're right, and that's the other thing.
In order to do that playthrough, Hank has to die.
Wait, that's a spoiler for me. I didn't know that. So there's no way to like stop everything that's going on.
I mean, there's a couple ways you can make it so he actually doesn't, but it's real hard. You got to be like absolutely perfect and know what you're doing, which you don't, obviously.
No, you're right.
That sounded way worse than I meant it. I'm sorry.
I mean, especially on that first playthrough, I was like, oh my God, this is okay. I don't want to spoil everything that I did because I'll be here for 2 hours just talking about the last one. So let me go forward with Carl here. But yeah, so for this one, I want Marcus to survive, and I'd like to do a successful pacifist movement run for this one.
Oh man, actual Velociraptor is going to be heartbroken. They commented, Jordan, please don't do the vanilla everyone lives happily ever after ending for this stream. That's what everyone does.
Oh, interesting. So
let's see where we left off.
Do the pacifist stream, please. That's my canon, personally.
I think everyone would really like that. I think it'd be pretty feel good to have sort of Marcus do that successfully as a peaceful movement and to sort of see it work.
I mean, you can kill off other characters, but people will probably be pissed about that. So you can't win.
I do appreciate that the game sort of like, although I'm sure there is some sort of like happy ending, it does really make it feel as though you have to make a choice and not everybody's going to win. I loved it. I love the structure of the story. The fact that like you're playing as Connor, who has this mission of finding Cara and Marcus in different respects, but you're also playing as Cara, who's trying to get away, and you're also playing as Marcus, who wants to lead this movement. And so it puts you at odds with yourself, but it makes you think of the different themes that each of them are sort of contributing to.
I agree with that. God, I just love the glass wall at the back of the studio. It's gorgeous. Well, all three of the walls are glass, but I just love that. It reminds me of like walking into my grandparents' sunroom as a kid. I don't know.
It's beautiful, no doubt.
And there has been time that has passed as well. Like the first chapter where Connor is doing the investigation, trying to keep the android from killing the little girl. He oh God, I lost my train of thought because I got distracted watching the video.
That was August, right? Now we're in November.
That was August. Now we're in November. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
I mean, it is quite nice, so we'll see. We like it.
Yes, there is something about it. Something I can't quite define. I guess I like it.
The truth is, I have nothing left to say anymore. Each day that goes by brings me closer to the end. I'm just an old man clinging to his brushes.
Carl.
But enough about me. Let's see if you have any talent.
So fatalistic, Carl.
Give it a try. Try painting something.
paint? But would I... Painting what?
Anything you want. Give it a try.
I love this part.
I do too, and they do such a simple. They do something so simple in letting you pick what to paint, and I would say that really probably allows players to feel attached in a really personal way to Marcus, even though it doesn't require any additional voice acting, doesn't really require anything additional from the production standpoint.
Yeah. I think it's not even like this part, it's the next bit of painting that I love, because there are, it's either 8 or 16 different paintings you can come out with. And they're also moving.
It's not about
agree.
replicating the world. It's about interpreting, improving on it, showing something you see.
Carl, I don't think I can do that. It's not in my program.
Go on, go. Try it. Grab that canvas. Do something for me. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Trust me.
You know what's really, really interesting and really telling about this particular scene, and especially that line of dialogue from Carl just now, or actually the exchange where he tells him to, it's about what you have to say about the world, and Marcus says, that's not in my programming. Whatever, I can sit here all day and talk about, robots are dumb, but there is an interesting sort of thematic element that you can do by using androids as a backdrop, which is to say that when Marcus says, I don't have that in my programming, that's actually bullshit, right? Like, Carl then responds and sort of walks him through it step by step, like, just close your eyes and think of something and then think of how it makes you feel. Well, that, if you break it down into those steps, absolutely is within Marcus's programming, right? Now, it's science fiction. We don't have any machines that can really do something like that technically, but why I find that interesting and that language of that's not in my programming, et cetera, is a lot of people sort of make those sorts of excuses for themselves also, right? I can't do that. I'm just not the sort of person who does X, Y, and Z. And in this case, it's more literal that he is a robot and he has programming. But thematically, a person who's watching this, I would hope, should glean from it that everybody sort of thinks that they have these parameters around them. And in reality, if you just sort of take it step by step, you can do a lot of things you think you probably can't do.
Oh, 100%. I know I'm guilty of that personally. For those of you who don't follow my channel, I was originally a music major in college, and then I ended up losing my hearing to something called Meniere's disease. So now I can only hear out of one ear. So I basically was just like, oh, that's it. Can't play music ever again because I can't hear properly. And it took me probably until a year ago to realize that's not necessarily true. And it took me another 6 months to actually get up the courage to try again. And let me tell you, I'm nowhere near as good as I used to be. But it was surprising to realize, oh, this is muscle memory. Even if I can't quite hear everything I'm doing, I know it probably sounds like it used to. Also, somebody in the chat asked how old the actor is that plays Marcus. Jesse Williams is 38 years old, and he's from Chicago.
Oh, I didn't know he was from Chicago.
Zoe says, stop calling me out like this, Jordan.
Try to imagine something.
And Hector is asking if I think Jordan can paint like Marcus. No, I don't.
Anyone who's ever seen the streams where we do Pictionary type things knows I can't draw for shit, so. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go with identity. And, yeah, what the heck, let's do androids.
I can't even remember what I picked.
I think I did humanity and hope, and then maybe I did androids and hope, I think is another one.
I think I always ended up with hope. I just can't remember what the first one I picked was.
God.
I love how he's got his eyes closed the whole time, too. How does he know what color paint he's using? Ooh, God, I love that painting.
Hey, Dad.
Leo. I didn't hear you come in.
Oh, I was in the neighborhood. I thought I'd stop by. It's been a while, right?
You all right? You don't look so good.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Hey, listen, I need some cash, Dad.
Again? What happened to the money I just gave you?
Well, it just goes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you're on it again, aren't you?
No, I swear, it's not that.
No, don't lie to me, Leo.
What difference does it make? I just need some cash, that's all.
Sorry. The answer's no.
What? Why?
You know
Henriksen
why.
is so brilliant in this scene.
Yeah, I think I do know why. you'd rather take care of your plastic toy here than your own son, right? Tell me, Dad, what's it got that I don't? Smarter, more obedient, not like me, right? But you know what? This thing is not your son. It's a fucking machine.
Leo, that's enough. Enough.
You don't care about anything except yourself and your goddamn paintings. You've never loved anyone. You never loved me, Dad. You never loved me.
God damn, what a scene.
I have a comment about this scene that I
Yes.
feel like is very Katie of me. Something to consider about Leo is clearly he's a drug addict. You can assume from what we've learned about Todd, and the red ice, he's probably on that. I'm just guessing because he exhibits a lot of the same behavior, same twitchiness and all that. But drug addicts and any type of addict in general are such master manipulators. And throughout that scene, he goes from accusation. Well, he starts off just being like your buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he tries to buddy you up. And then when that doesn't work, he immediately switches and flips the switch onto Carl. And in turn, Marcus, becoming the accuser, and manipulates the situation to make it look like he is being wronged in some way.
Yeah, no, that's a really key observation, and it's like you said, it's kind of almost like a theme. It occurs at other places as well in the story.
Yeah, and that's true of any addiction, whether it's alcohol, things. Anyone who has an addictive personality will tell you that it's really easy to become addicted to objects or ideas. Like you play, and this, I'm not trying to call anybody in the chat out because I'm guilty of this too. Playing the same video games over and over again, reading the same books over and over again. You do that because it's comfy. It's your place to relax.
Oh, yeah.
But that's telling of an addiction almost.
Yeah.
And it gives you the same serotonin, the same dopamine reactions it would if you were abusing a drug or drinking too much liquor or anything else.
Yeah, no, I guess you're right. It's not challenging in a sense, right? Like it's all the comfort with very little of the challenge. Like that's one of the things that happens as you play a game more and more. Typically at least.
Yeah. Oh, Christina makes a good point too. He's not wrong. In the extra lore, Carl never did care about him. He sent child support, but never bothered ever seeing him until he was 16. You don't know for a fact that he necessarily knew about him. There is the possibility because Carl's character is based off a real life painter that was from Detroit. There was never anything about this information with him. Like he never had a secret kid or anything, but there's always the possibility he may not have necessarily known about Leo. It could have been whoever managed his money at the time was sending money without telling him, because that is something that will happen to rich people occasionally. I'm not saying it's true. Carl's probably not faultless, but I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt because he seems so sincere.
You know, I mean, like, it's an interesting question, right? Like, how much is Carl potentially to blame for how his son turned out? And I think that's an interesting question. I don't know that the game ever answers it directly. I can't remember. I think there might be something in either of their bios that hints at it also. But I mean, this is not too much of a spoiler. This is not the last scene that we see Leo in. We're going to see Leo and Carl again, and one of the next scenes that comes up with the two of them, I did sense a little bit of, I don't know if it was just general despair for like, oh my God, I can't believe this is my kid and how they turned out, or if there was something like guilt that was sort of readable in the scene. And I'm not certain about that. That was one of the things I thought about on the repeat plane, where I thought, I wonder if Carl does feel a measure of guilt, like this is still my son. I should have done something to raise him better or differently or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people you can feel guilt about. I feel guilt about my siblings, even though the youngest is 8, when they do something wrong, even though it's totally not my fault. I haven't lived at home for years, but sometimes I'm still just like, dude, why did you do that? I thought I taught you better when you were younger to not be a dumbass.
Yeah.
But kids are kids. The 8-year-old is still going to be a little jerk sometimes.
You are not wrong about that.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what you're going to do with Carl and Leo, though. I did tell you your other option, so...
Yes, when we get to that, I'll explain kind of what I've done previously and what I'm going to do this time for roleplay purposes. All right, let's move on.
Okay.
Oh, wait, this is going to be the first Hank scene, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, how fun.
So you know, then.
I mean, I've done this now twice.
Yes, but you didn't do it quite this way.
Exactly. Well, I don't know how I'm going to do it now. So I know what I want for this playthrough for Marcus. I know what I've done already in my first playthrough, and I kind of know what I want to do on my second personal playthrough. But like, what do I want to do for this? Well, first things first. Let's scan everybody.
So up until the end of the last episode, and until you kept going and restarted another playthrough, your assumption was that Connor was gone for good.
Yes, it was.
So now you know.
Connor just keeps coming back.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you do. Motherfucker.
Connor is unkillable, but we do also sort of learn that like it starts to kind of things start to happen if he dies too much.
Yeah. I don't know if my mic is picking it up, but I can hear Dave in the other room making himself a cocktail.
Cheers.
I can just hear all the bottles clinking together.
If it's, I mean, I can't hear it. I don't know if the
Buy me a drink.
chat hears it, but I don't.
I don't know.
I do like these little profiles that come up for everyone as well.
Criminal records and all
Criminal
that.
records and all that. Yeah.
It is interesting too. I think I read somewhere that a bunch of the names that you read when you're just analyzing random people are actually people who helped produce the game.
Oh, interesting.
But I don't know if that's true. I just remember reading it on like Twitter or something. I also like how they all have next to them whether they're employed or not.
Yeah, and also the dates of birth are really interesting.
Yeah, because some of them are born like around now.
Right, exactly.
Which, like, if you're born, I'm sure when they created this game, nobody was assuming there would be a pandemic in 2020. But it is like an interesting thing to apply to the game now. Is like, oh, there were some people that were born in this game that were born during this pandemic that's going on.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yes, Xer, I agree. Connor should teach us all how to do those coin tricks.
They don't keep up the coin trick thing, do they?
They do if you don't kill him every chance you get.
Oh, touche. Let's see here. All right, let's go ahead and talk to Hank. I still don't know how I'm going to play this.
Oh my god, that's right. He's my age now.
Hank's a millennial. Yeah, he's actually kind of... Yeah, you're right.
I'm born now. I'm curious. Scan him. Let's see.
He's close to my age. Let's see. No, he's older than I am. Yeah. So he's, yeah, interesting. Okay.
85. Anyone born in 85? I don't think so.
All right. Heck, let's just, play it by ear.
My name is Connor. I'm the android sent by Cyberlife. I looked for you at the station, but nobody knew where you were.
Koya says Hank
They
is
said
his
you were
oldest
probably
nemesis.
having a drink nearby. I was lucky to find you at the 5th bar.
What do you want?
You were assigned a case early this evening. A homicide involving a Cyberlife android. In accordance with procedure, the company has allocated a specialized model to assist investigators.
Well, I don't need any assistance. Especially not from a plastic asshole like you. Just be a good little robot and get the fuck out of here.
Clancy Brown is so good in this. Okay, so I want to talk about a little bit about this first meeting, because in my first playthrough, I'll spoil this part of it now, Hank dies, kills himself in the end. At one point, he also shoots Connor in the head, which...
I mean, can you blame him the way you were playing him?
Yes, I can blame him. Honestly, that's the one moment that I do regret is now lost to time that we don't get to see me react to live, because I was absolutely fucking flabbergasted. My jaw hit the floor, because it's a moment where, I don't have to give the whole context, but for the audience, for anyone who hasn't experienced it, there's a moment where there's sort of like this standoff between Connor and Hank is drunk, and he's pointing a gun at Connor's head, and he's just like, are you afraid to die? Are you a person? What's going to happen if I pull this trigger? And I'm just like, even before the dialogue prompt came up, I'm like, nothing. And then the dialogue prompt comes up, and that's one of the options, is nothing. And I'm like, yeah, fuck it, nothing. And Connor goes like, nothing's going to happen. I'm not alive, yada, yada. Bang. And he just shoots him in the head, and I'm like, no fucking way. Because at that point, Connor had not died in that playthrough at all. I had gotten through everything. And
You just pissed Hank off enough.
And I thought, there's no way. Like, there's no way his character will do it. There's no way that the story will take this sort of... And I wasn't even cognizant of the fact that Connor always comes back to life yet. So I was just like, holy crap, like this fucking game is the greatest thing I've ever seen. The protagonist just got shot in the head because I was ballsy enough to stare down the barrel of a gun. Of course, he ends up coming back, but I was totally flabbergasted when I got to that moment.
I think, see, because of the way you did your first playthrough, you never got a couple of my favorite moments. One of which I'm going to spoil because it's so small, most people don't even notice it. If you are good enough friends with Hank, even if you're just neutral, at one point, he will be so curious, he'll try to teach himself Connor's coin trick. And I love that because he's just in the background while you're walking around doing shit, and you can see him trying to snap it back and forth between his hands. And it's so adorable.
That's actually really good. That's a nice small detail.
Yeah, but if you don't get him pissed off, I don't think this is too much of a spoiler. You get a completely different scene from the one you get where he ends up killing himself. Like, you're 100% different. Different dialogue options. I don't even think you're in the same place.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I'm very curious about what that story is like, because I like Hank as a character, and I love Clancy Brown's performance. I just got into this like bad rut, and I think it's like almost indicative of like two people getting off on the wrong foot, because I kept seeing Connor as like, Connor gets introduced almost like this total badass. He's like this great negotiator. He's like almost like this hotshot. Like the way he's dressed, the way he carries himself, he's like an ace. And then you put him side by side with a guy who's clearly sort of down on his luck or sort of not in his prime. And like the attitude that I took for Connor's sake was just like, Connor's a pro, Connor's an expert. Like, why is he putting up with this guy who's being clearly disrespectful towards him in the beginning? So I always took not an unprofessional, but kind of a cold attitude. I didn't take the option where I spilled his drink, which is up there which comes up in a second here. It was always just sort of like super logical, very cool, and it just didn't work. Like I thought maybe there was a chance that Hank might respect that, like Connor standing up for himself, and I'm kind of disappointed that at least in my first completed playthrough, that doesn't ever seem to manifest. And I don't want to say this too soon because I haven't completed any other playthroughs yet, but I'm like, I really hope it's not a situation where I have to completely be... I don't think deference should be considered exclusively like a virtue. Like, I don't think it should be, and I'm going to explain a little bit more as the scene goes on, like, I don't think that's the way to get people to like you, is just do whatever they want.
Oh, totally. And that's not, at least from my perspective, I don't think that's what a quote-unquote successful playthrough is. But the way I role-played it, and my sort of headcanon for Connor, is that because he's an android, he's curious. And because he's an investigator, he's inherently curious, not necessarily mission driven.
Yeah.
So I took him to be really, really curious about Hank in general and about his work and about androids who go off the rails, so to speak, because that's the way he views it. Because he's just kind of scratching his head like, well, how does that work?
Yeah.
And as I played it from that perspective, it ended up turning into him becoming more and more humanistic. And Hank became, the more curious you act towards Hank, the more curious Hank is towards you, which I really enjoy.
It's a very great sort of like tagline for when you told me that, like you played him as being curious about people. I thought, I go, that's really interesting. Like as a detective model, so to speak, like we could say that that's inherent to his quote unquote personality.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked that a lot. And I think that's kind of the route I'm going to go on my second run. And what the heck, may as well do that on stream now. But I'm going to comparison and contrast, and hopefully I think I am going to like it because I like both of these two characters individually, and so I want there to be a version of them where they're like buddies and pals, and they're like robot and guy detective going off and solving cases.
Oh, you get the best ending. It's like the cutest ending.
I can dig that. Okay, I'm about that because in a weird way, I kind of relate to both of them, and so I'd like for there to be a world where they're like best partners and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this case, reason, threaten, understanding, persist. I guess I'm just going to go with understanding to start off with.
I understand that
Yeah,
some
Haley in the
people are
chat
not
says Hank really works on
comfortable with the presence
emotions.
of
The
android.
less emotion you show, the
But I
less
am
trustworthy he
perfectly
views
comfortable.
Connor.
Now back off before I crush you like an empty beer can.
Okay, then I have reason, threaten, and persist. And again, I will say that like Hank is really being an asshole to him in this first scene. Like he's being really rude.
A little bit drunk.
Oh yes, he is drunk, and I'm going to come to that in a moment. But I guess of reason, threaten, and persist, I'm going to go the lightest that I can with reason.
Listen, I think you should stop drinking and come with me. It'll make life easier for both of us.
And then you have this, which is spill his drink, buy him another drink, or wait outside. And so what? Oh, let's see here.
Want me to tell you what I did?
Oh yeah, tell me what you did first.
Okay. My sort of thought process on this moment was, okay, I'm trying to get this guy to work with me, and I'm curious why he's being a douchebag. So if I compromise with him and I give him a little bit of what he wants with the understanding that that's it and that's the end, then we can get shit done. So I bought him a drink because I was like, if I pay for this now, he gulps it back, we can get a move on and get focused on the case.
That's a very good logic to go through. And I will say on my second run, which is not a finished one, I bought him another drink. Kind of similar thinking. I thought of it more in the sense of like Connor has been programmed to understand that that's like a gesture, like a friendly gesture, and you can sometimes use that to smooth over misunderstandings. So why not? On my initial playthrough, which is all just basically gut instinct, the first thing that I thought when I saw that pop up is this guy does not need another fucking drink.
I mean, yeah.
Like, I'm not going to buy him a drink. Like, he's an alcoholic. Like, I'm not buying him a drink. He's fucking drunk. And so I was, like, patently opposed to that notion. And then, like, I don't know how I feel about that being the good option, essentially. Because it's just kind of a weird thing to do. Clearly, the guy needs to stop drinking. And, like, the way to become his pal is to buy him another drink.
Well, I mean, you can also just wait outside. But I feel like it just gets the ball moving faster.
Yeah. That's what I did on my first one. I was like, well, I'm not going to spill his drink. That's just that's like a massive asshole move. I don't know. That's really escalating it way too far.
Yeah.
So I just waited outside. And I think he reacts basically the same, except he doesn't like you as much. He still has the same line of dialogue of like, did you say homicide? That sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, I'm going to go with the logic of, hey, we're trying to get this guy to like us. And that's what humans do. They buy each other drinks.
You know what? I'll buy you one for the road. What do you say? Bartender, the same again, please.
See, that Jim wonders at technology. Make it a double.
I like how Hank makes it a double.
He's just trying to get his money's worth, man.
Yeah.
Did you say homicide?
He is amicable, right? Like, there is, like, this element to Hank that, like, he's punchy, but he's kind of lovable.
He reminds me of Haymitch from, why can't I think of the name of those stupid movies? Jennifer Lawrence, what's she most known for?
Oh, Hunger
Wait
Games.
here.
Thank you.
It won't be long.
I love how he's jamming out to metal when you
Whatever
drive
you
up
say,
too.
Lieutenant.
Fucking A, whatever I say.
I also love the conflicting orders selecting priority. And he's just gonna go follow him anyway.
Oh, hell yeah.
Josh Douglas from Channel 16. Can you confirm that this is a homicide?
Christina
I'm not
agrees with me
confirming anything.
that he reminds us of Haymitch.
Woody Harrelson plays Hamish?
Androids are not permitted beyond the
Woody Harrelson's a badass.
It's with me.
Also, can we just point out all the little drones?
What part of staying in the car didn't you understand?
Your order contradicted my instructions, Lieutenant.
You don't talk, you don't touch anything, and you stay out of my way. Got it?
Got it.
Evening, Hank.
Connor is so
We're starting to
cool,
think you weren't
but
gonna
such
show.
a dork at the
Yeah,
same
that was
time.
the plan until this asshole found me.
So,
Yeah, kind of reminds me of how I imagine my dad was when he was
Very funny. Just tell me what happened.
just playing D&D, trying to get by, trying to not get his ass beat.
months so he thought he dropped by.
Solving crimes.
Exactly.
That's when he found the body.
Just like going back to when he orders Hank a drink, just the way he says it. Bartender, again, please.
Yeah.
This is how he assumes people order drinks.
It's like if
Jesus,
you ever
that
watch the
smell.
Vlogbrothers on
It was
YouTube.
even worse before we opened
Not
the
often, no.
It's like if John or
Victim's
Hank
name's
Green tried to
Carlos
order a
Ortiz.
cool sounding drink at a bar.
He has a
Oh, I
record
got you,
for
yeah, yeah.
Theft and aggravated assault. According to the neighbors, he was kind of a loner.
God, I forgot how much I
Stayed
enjoy the
inside most of
detail
the time.
of
They
this.
hardly ever saw him.
Same.
Well, stayed easy in. Wasn't worth calling everybody out in the middle of the night. Could have waited till morning.
I'd say he's been there for a good 3 weeks. We'll know more when the coroner gets here. There's a kitchen knife over here. Probably the murder weapon.
Any sign of a break-in?
Nope. The landlord said the front door was locked from the inside. All the windows were boarded up. The killer must have gone out the back way.
What do we know about his android?
Not much. The neighbors confirmed he had one, but it wasn't here when we arrived. I gotta get some air. Make yourself at home. I'll be
Hey, Jackdaw. What up, Jack? Good to see you, man. Glad you could make it.
outside if you need me.
Oh God, now I have to be nervous.
Jack was curious about this game also, so I'm spreading your evangelical ways of bringing people over to liking Detroit. I was telling Jack about it during his stream earlier when he was playing Dragon Age.
I mean, it's only fair.
Chris,
I finally got
is this
Goya
written
to
in the
start playing
victim's
Mass
blood?
Effect, so
I would say
Yeah.
so.
we're just
Taking
spreading
samples for
the
analysis.
infection.
Everybody's
like,
gonna be playing sci-fi games.
Oh, totally. It's like the was it the
Nice.
cordyceps in The Last of Us?
It just gets everywhere.
Just get spreading the disease.
Also, I just love shit like this. I love like detective shit. I love solving crimes, and like this game allows you to be thorough, but it's also like you feel kind of smart for finding each and every one of the clues, etc.
It's how I hope they tackle the similar aspects in Cyberpunk.
Exactly. This has been done in many times before. Batman, the Arkham games have done this, but this is probably the best one I've seen so far.
Yeah, my fingers are crossed that Cyberpunk does it well, because I want to love that game, but I am nervous that it's gonna suck.
You know what? I'm kind of getting there with you as well. It's like the most hyped game that we've seen in a long time, but every time I see gameplay of it, I go, the gameplay is good, but I don't think it's mind-blowing. And something about the acting or the writing seems really kind of stiff to me.
It's like if you took the acting from, what's that GTA knockoff that they have?
Saints Row?
Saints Row. It's like if you take the acting from Saints Row and the gameplay from GTA. That's what I sense when I watch actual gameplay of Cyberpunk, and I don't know if I'm necessarily thrilled about it.
Yeah, I think similarly, and also one of the things that I've said is that it with The Witcher, they kind of got away with it. If some of the English didn't sound supernatural in the way that it was written, because it's a fantasy setting, etc. But
Well, aren't they from Poland?
Right, they're from Poland, and so when they're now trying to do a modern day / futuristic version of what is clearly meant to be Los Angeles, I'm like, okay, how many of these guys have lived in Los Angeles?
Right. Like, we all watch the live thing on Twitch. We know they're not from the U.S.
Right.
So they have to take either they've gone and visited or they're going off of what other people have said.
And they're also using a lot of pop culture references, right? Like their version of how people speak English in Los Angeles, especially people who, Hispanic characters, Spanish speaking characters, etc. Like, I feel like they're really going off of a lot of cliches.
Totally.
And I don't mean to demonize them or anything. I just think it's one of those circumstantial things of like, look, I live in Texas, and I wouldn't even feel confident writing people who are from LA because I've never lived there.
Oh, totally. And I think it depends on where. I guess it's going to depend on how thorough their research is, right? Because like, even different parts of LA will feel different depending on where you're at.
Exactly right. One time I was able to correctly identify someone's Texan accent as being Northern Texas, and they were like, holy shit. Like, most people can guess Texas, but like, how did you know Northern Texas? And I'm like, I'm fucking Texan, man.
That's one of the nice things about doing voiceover work, man. I can pinpoint most places that people are from. I told this one lady, I'm like, you used to live in South Africa, didn't you? And she's like, how the hell did you know that? I lived in France for 10 years.
Wow.
And I'm like, I don't know. You just sound like you're actually from there.
Yeah. Oh, man. Also, if anyone another thing is if people who have worked in call centers that are like nationwide call centers, you kind of start to get the similar thing.
Oh my God. Yeah. And the whole thing on TV about people from, is it Montana? Where they're like, ooh, hello there, eh?
Or Minnesota. That sounds a bit
Minnesota. I always confuse the two.
28 times.
It's so
Seems like the killer
over the top, but it's not wrong.
Yeah. And no, yeah, you're not exactly. Yeah, you're right. All right, so let's do some investigating.
Chris, I want
here.
full analysis on the narcotics.
It's the same with Michigan, to be honest. People who are from the UP, we call them Upers. They have a very Minnesota, Missouri-esque accent where they talk like that, or like from Nova Scotia. We don't talk like that, eh? Don't throw dirt on my Minnesotan name. I'm sorry.
Also, Alex in the chat says this dude got Caesared. Yeah, he sure did.
Oh, totally.
Oh, Jesus, what the hell are you doing?
It is. I remember playing this for the first time and being a little disconcerted by the I am alive on the wall.
I'm sorry. I should have warned you.
Okay, just don't put any more evidence in your mouth. You got it?
Got it.
Fucking hell, I can't believe this shit.
I just love how he can identify that it's in the Cyberlife Sans font.
Yeah, just lick the blood, no big deal. It's the same as how anthropologists can tell the difference between bone and rock by licking it.
Hey, Mike, you finished taking samples there?
Because that's what you want to do, lick 1,000-year-old bones.
That's a Mass Effect Andromeda reference also.
Is it?
I'll let you... are you going to do Andromeda or no?
Eventually.
Yeah, you'll see.
Took me 4 months to do the first game, man.
No, I don't. Like, I'm not quick about... I mean, obviously, it takes me about a year to start streaming something on the channel, as we found out with Skyrim, so...
Yeah.
Red Ice. Fictional drug of choice.
Who doesn't want some good drugs? The good kush.
Okay, let's find more clues.
The victim kind of looked like Todd, too. Maybe it's Todd, no. If only.
My reaction to this was so strong. My reaction to the prologue was so strong. People got to hear that when I played it for the first time. It is really worth mentioning more than once. I really do love this shit. Like, I love doing the investigation thing.
That's probably why you identified so strongly with Connor and wanted to roleplay him the most in your first playthrough.
Yeah, I think that probably has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, this is definitely watching you play. has definitely re-inspired me to. I think this is going to be one of the first games I put on my new computer if I ever get it running.
What's cooking in the car? You should have been there a half hour ago. He's on his way. It won't be long now.
That guy's accent is real weird too. Can we just point that out?
Oh, the other cop?
Yeah, it's like I know this is supposed to take place in Detroit, but it's like he's trying to bastardize a bad Irish accent. It's like the kids that I went to high school with and we were in drama class and they'd be like, the coroner. It just sounds like he's trying to be Irish and failing miserably. It's like, are you Welsh? I can't tell. Please don't lick anything.
Door was locked from the inside.
Hank's reaction when he licked it is hilarious.
Oh, it's the best part of the whole
There are no
thing.
footprints apart from Officer Collins' size 10 shoes.
Well, this happened weeks ago. Tracks could have faded.
No, this type of soil would retain a trace. Nobody's been out here for a long time.
Haley says, do you have an idea about what you're going to do to Todd in this playthrough, Jordan? Oh, you bet I do. When I got done with that chapter, which I think is going to be the next one if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
The amazing thing about that is that when I got done with that, I thought it was great. I'll talk about it more if we have time, which I think we will. We'll have time to get to it today. Yeah. I thought it was a great chapter. And then I was like, I saw the flow chart and I was like, holy shit, what is the rest of this? And I realized that I honestly got done with that chapter and I thought that I felt like I played it like the way that I could play it, like the way that you quote unquote should play it. It was only until afterwards that I realized like, oh, I don't think I had to do that at all.
Okay, once we get there, you're going to have to tell me what you did the first time, because did you get the scene? I can't even ask on stream because I don't want to spoil it. Well, no, they said they're okay with spoilers. Did you end up in the train station?
I did. Okay. No, wait, the train station?
With Cara.
What do you mean did I end up in the train station? Like at the end of that chapter?
No. Later on in the game, did you go to the train station?
Did I go to the train station?
With Cara, Luther, and Alice.
There's a border crossing. But that's not
okay, you chose that option.
Oh, okay, that's another thing. That's way down the road. And let me tell you, that's major spoiler territory. But like all of those later chapters, there were just huge swaths of things that it's not that I was taking the shortest route, but I just realized there was so much variation by that point.
Oh, totally. So I guess you missed a major scene if you don't do the bad thing with Toad.
Oh boy. Okay, this is very interesting.
That's gonna be I can't say anything else because I want you to still make like a choice based on your own ideas.
It's so interesting. Like I think there's still so like on the one hand I'm like, oh, I beat the game, I'm done having to worry about spoilers. But I also still feel like there's so many ways to play this game.
Oh, I could still spoil you on so many things.
I'm sure there is.
Also, Exer said, "Why else you have subtitles on?" to me, and I'm not sure what that means.
Wait, what?
Exer in the chat said, Aaron Brody, why else you have subtitles on? And I don't understand what that means.
Oh yeah, I don't understand what that means either, I guess.
I have to explain more, man. Android sex officially better. Oh, man.
You don't say. I don't suppose these fine folks are just trying to sell magazines, are they?
It's the Eden Club, man. 68% of men prefer sex with an android to a real woman. Oh my god. Yeah, it's like just a way more interesting fleshlight, man.
I mean, we can sit here and make fun of that, but literally, like, if we took a poll of millennial men, like, how many of them are going to respond with, like, men prefer e-girls to real women?
Yeah.
Not to say that that sounded really crass. Not to say that the women who are not real women, but you know what I mean. Prefer simping for influencers.
Oh God, I hate that term, simp.
More than they cultivate actual in-person relationships.
Oh God.
I was not a fan of that term either at first. I think it's grating on the ears is really the main reason why I don't like it. But like, they got it to work. I don't know who they is, but they coined it so hard that if I say it, you know what I mean, and that means it's an effective word.
It is, but at the same time, like, when those kind of people call someone a simp, what they're saying is you respect women. Like, that's what it comes down to for a lot of what they mean by it is, oh, you're just a tool, blah, blah, blah. You just do whatever the women tell you. At least that's what I've taken it to mean. And it's like, no, it just means you're not a dick.
I think that's the secondary connotation of it, though, right? Like, that the idea is that it's a dog whistle for that.
Is it? I only learned the term because of TikTok, and I'm a little bit ashamed to say I'm on TikTok in the first place because I'm a 27-year-old.
I do not have a TikTok account. It's got to be one of the only like major social media platforms that I've never even looked at, really. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm you know what? Fuck it. I guess I'm too old for that.
Man, the only reason I got it in the first place was because I wanted to keep an eye on my 15-year-old sister because she is, love her, and if she ever sees this, I'll get shit for it. But she's the trouble child, like. She's just a lot. She's like, of the teenagery things you can do, she's done all of them. Whereas I snuck out to go see Harry Potter movies. So like there's a big difference between us. So I got it to keep an eye on her and make sure she wasn't doing anything inappropriate. And then I got into it. And I've made videos. And I'm ashamed, but I also enjoy it a little too much. Dave knows if he hears certain songs, he's like, would you get off TikTok, please?
Yeah. I mean, look, I gotta say, right, if somebody has the ability to make catchy things with a piece of technology, I'm all for it. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, I just wish I hadn't gotten into the dance videos. No one needed to see that.
I mean, look, how different is it than Vine, really? Like, Vine was a few years ago, and I even kind of felt old using Vine, but I was like...
I loved Vine.
I kind of got into it, because I thought that there was a certain brand of humor to Vines and the limitations of it being so short, that people sort of crafted something around that.
I think my favorite Vines were the magic trick ones, and then Thomas Sanders. I just thought he was brilliant. He was just so zippy and witty. Like the ones where... Did you ever watch Thomas Sanders? I guess I should ask.
Did Thomas Sanders do the one where he started narrating people from behind them?
Yes. That was my favorite part. He like, oh, and the most beautiful lass in all the land gets the rose. And then the grandma came up and was like, oh, well, clearly that's me. That's true.
I like the one where he says, like, and then the boy proposed to the young lady, and like she freaks out like it's real, and he's like, no.
No. Oh, and the other one when he goes up to the couple and the girl tackles the boyfriend thinking it's like a surprise for her.
Yeah.
Oh man, Christina, I totally forgot about Bat Dad.
Oh, Bat Dad was great.
Bat Dad was awesome.
Bat Dad was very good.
I feel like there's this couple on there who they started because the wife was trying to get the husband to take her to Disney. And it was like, day 102 of convincing my husband to take me to Disney World. And she'd hide like little Lego Disney characters all around the house for him. I feel like they radiate Bat Dad energy.
Okay, interesting.
Oh, I forgot about the statue.
Yeah, and then I guess this is like the beginning of the RA9 thing, which that's a whole... People are very frustrated about the fact that wasn't explained more, I guess.
Yeah, I have my own theories, but I'm not going to touch on them until we get way later in the game. I've told you my personal favorite.
Did you ever ask the founder guy about it?
No. Well, in my later playthroughs I did, but in my first playthrough I chose the other option.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Without spoiling anything.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, that's oh man, wait till we get to that moment so I can tell you about what I did.
Oh no, I can already guess.
So yeah, okay. So I think we've got all the clues now, right? Yep, we have all the clues. So let's go talk to Hank. Look at Connor solving crimes over here.
I'm so proud of our boy. He's growing up so fast.
Best robot boy ever.
Oh, Gordon says I feel bad for the robot ahead guy because that's all I can think about in the part of The Last of Us 2. And I'm sure he's been tweeted it so much, but I don't know what that's a reference to.
In the kitchen.
There are obvious signs of a struggle. The question is, what exactly happened here.
I think the victim attacked the android with the bat.
That lines up with the evidence. Go on.
Can you not remember?
Literally, no matter how many times I see that happen, the way that it's worded, I always have to go victim, android. I always have to do it in my head, and then the timer. It's just like, oh god, there's a timer. And then the android stabbed the victim.
The android stabbed the victim.
So the android was trying to defend itself, right? Okay, then what happened?
The victim fled to the living room.
I always wonder though, like, is there somebody who just like totally gets it wrong, and Hank's just like, no, like that's not what happened.
I don't even know. I don't think I ever did it that way. I always just did it the way, like, the truth.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense.
That'd be really funny to try,
The
though.
android murdered the victim with the knife.
I wonder too if there's an angle from like, is there a role play to like, it's not that
Your theory's
Connor's
not
dumb, but you
totally
just do it wrong on purpose because you've already figured
tell
out,
us
or
where
you
the
think that
android
you want
went.
the android to get away.
It was damaged by the bat and lost some
I didn't even think about that.
Lost some what?
therium. You call it blue blood. It's the fluid that powers androids' biocomponents. It evaporates after a few hours and becomes invisible to the naked eye.
Oh, but I bet you can still see it, can't you?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, time to do the scan thing, Connor.
Oh, Haley says I purposefully messed up a bunch of the guy in the attic gets away and Hank doesn't trust Connor. I mean, can't blame him.
Yeah, interesting.
Actual Velociraptor just called me up. I don't know about road work ahead guy. I have no idea what you're talking about. Is this a The Last of Us thing?
I don't know. Is it?
It's been like 3 years since I watched a The Last of Us Let's Play, and it took me about 6 months to get through because I hate zombies. And I am maybe a fifth of the way through The Last of Us 2 because I just can't stomach it. It's all the fear. All the fear. No, this is the 2014 Vine Classic. No, I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, is it the road work ahead? I sure hope it does.
Oh, that's the one. That's right.
Yeah. I make that joke constantly to Dave, and I think he regrets making me sometimes.
Hey, what are you doing with that
There's
chair?
the android with the knife in the attic.
Check something.
I love how Connor gives no explanation either. He's just like, I'm going to check something.
Yeah, no kidding. God, you know the music's really good in this scene in particular. Or I mean, I love Connor's. I think it's it's the same composer who did Mass Effect Andromeda that does Connor's soundtrack.
Oh, is it?
If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
I have listened to the soundtrack from Andromeda, and I love it.
It is criminally underused. It's like the common thing that everybody says. Good soundtrack, just very underused.
Shame. After Inquisition came out, I must have listened to it 100 times. That was all that played in my car on any drive anywhere for several months.
That's an epic car ride every time.
Oh, totally. Every time I went to work, I felt like a badass. There's nothing like listening to a movie soundtrack or a really interesting video game soundtrack while you're driving to work at Starbucks. Oh god, I hate this part.
Like, you know that they're gonna go for the jump scare when they do it, and they sure as hell do.
Ugh.
Or not even a jump scare, but like that pre... There he goes.
It's like that intense moment in a horror game before the killer comes out.
Here we go. Okay. Deviant locating.
I was just defending myself.
I'm a few seconds behind you. Sorry.
I'm begging you. Don't tell him.
Connor, what the fuck is going on up there?
It's here, Lieutenant!
Oh, shit. Chris, Ben, get your asses in here now. Come on!
I do always find it interesting that that's not a choice moment.
Yeah, and I assume because the moment in the interrogation room is something they want you to experience.
Yeah, you're right.
That's my guess, but I don't know.
But then again, I have to assume that this other one here, like if you just get everything wrong, I think that android has to get away.
Yeah, that's 100% what happens.
Very interesting. But overall, I mean, I think this works. Hank is neutral right now. Not bad for only really just being the first mission. So we haven't messed anything up.
Hell yeah. I actually need to run away for 120 seconds to the bathroom. So
okay. Cool. Sounds good. Okay, so let's look at our world stats, everybody. I think this is probably a pretty typical run. 74% of people do buy him a drink, which is very interesting. This whole investigation portion, I mean, like pretty much everybody finds all the clues. Almost no one doesn't. Yeah, 99% of people, Connor knows what happens. It goes along a fairly linear path. I think it's really only this if you don't figure out what happened. Which again, I'm assuming that would only really take place if someone like purposefully didn't want the android to be caught. Yeah, very interesting. No, I mean, I think this game is it's wrought with choices, and I think that's probably the best way to. In all honesty, as much as I kind of thought about the live, the blind playthrough, I'm actually kind of glad that we're doing it this way because now I can at least comparison and contrast and talk about other things that could be done. That interrogation scene, which will come up shortly, I think we're gonna do the Cara chapter, and then maybe Marcus, and then we'll come back to Connor with the interrogation scene. That in and of itself can end a variety of different ways. All of which, you know, you can deem a couple of the endings successful, but there's successful as far as getting the information, and then there's also successful as far as building the relationship with Hank. The Tall Warden says, a lot of the earlier sections have a more clear optimal path than later ones. You are very correct. The later ones are very much more just kind of like, how do you feel about it? I think especially these ones, like it's all about finding facts or successfully getting away in some cases, in the case with Cara. Actual Velociraptor, if you don't find the android, what replaces the interrogation scene? That is a good question. Maybe somebody else picks him up. Maybe they do a thing where, like, I don't know. Maybe they do a thing where someone else finds him later on. I'm not sure. Because the ending of the game also suggests that the androids that are involved in these investigations all kind of have to end up in a certain place, if that makes sense, without giving it away entirely just yet.
You are not correct.
Oh, I'm glad to hear you say that, because when in the one playthrough that I finished, I'm like, okay, well, it kind of seems like they all ended up XYZ here, sort of, so to speak. And I'm like, I wonder if that's like set in stone. So the fact that you're saying no, that's very good. I like to hear that.
When we get to the one part at the Eden Club, I'm going to be really curious to hear what you did the first time.
Oh, you're not kidding.
I'm pretty sure I know what you did, just judging by what you've hinted at and your tone of voice just now.
Just the fact that Connor's a badass. I don't know what else you want to know.
Oh, God. Okay, then, yes, 100%. You are completely incorrect.
that line that I tweeted out when I said I didn't say how my opinions were changing with Ryan Gosling in Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
When the guy says like, "How does it feel killing your own kind?" and like Ryan Gosling in typical sort of like monotone cool guy voice goes like, "I don't retire my own kind because my kind never run." And I'm like, "Yeah, you tell him." Apex robot. As I said, my opinions on AI are changing. I'm starting to have great admiration for the ones that actually do their fucking job. I just,
Oh my god. So are you telling me you don't like Marcus?
I think Marcus is a very interesting, like Marcus just seems special. It seems like he has a purpose that seems transcendent. And so I respect him for that also. I respect all of the protagonists in this game for different reasons. Like Marcus seems like he's on a mission. He's out to change something, which is awesome on a grand scale. Cara is committed to Alice and protecting her and sort of being her mother and sort of like taking that really seriously, and that's awesome in a more personal scale.
Dude, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on Alice too.
Oh, that's good. That's okay.
Okay.
Genuinely do need more water though, so now I'm gonna dip out for real quick.
Oh God. Okay, I'm in charge.
It'll be short.
Oh man, you guys, I can't say enough about this game. I love it so much. It's so great. Tall Warden says, "I just want everyone to be friends. It's my only goal in video games." I'm not gonna lie. My first Inquisition playthrough, I punched Solus in the face twice. I was ready for that. He just rubbed me the wrong way when we were in Haven. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was because he was so sassy to my boy Varric. And Varric's like my bud. He's my fave. So I did not like Alice. I only kept her alive to keep Luther with me. Fuck. And Haley says, "I did not see the Alice twist coming at the end of my first playthrough." Oh, same. 100% same. Yeah, Tall Warden. Solus is a valid exception. Solus pissed me off. You can punch Dorian? Clearly, I did not thoroughly play through all the options in Inquisition like I thought I did. Holy crap. I always got Cassandra drunk in Inquisition without even trying. She always accused me of stuff, and I'd be like, "Do I care, Cass?" Damn, you guys are savage. I did not know you could punch Dorian. Why would you want to punch Dorian? He's just a big, sassy cinnamon roll.
You can punch Dorian? Holy shit.
That's what I just said.
It's time for a new DAI run.
I guess. Damn. Where's Katie when the Slavellans need her? Exactly. I'm sorry. I'm a bad substitute Katie. I can't even get the hiccups.
How are we talking about... Why are we talking about Slavellans? Oh, punching Solus?
Yeah, because I said the only time I ever didn't want to be friends with a character in a game was Solus. He just pissed me off when we were in Haven because he was being so sassy to Varric, and Varric's my boy.
Yeah, fuck
So I was like, nah, screw you. I'm going to do everything I can to punch you in the face, and then I did twice.
Can you punch Solus and romance him? Because it seems like he'd be into that. Fucking elfy bastard.
Oh my god, some Dom shit right there.
It just seems like that's something that he'd be into.
I'm sure somewhere out there's some sort of fan fiction about him
Right.
getting stepped all over.
You know what? Like that is a joke, but I'm like 99% sure that somebody has done it.
Oh, I guarantee you that exists somewhere. It may include Bull, but I guarantee you it's happened.
Any type of, like, I think at this point, anything that someone could possibly think of when it comes to Solus, romance, fan art, or fan fiction, it exists. Like, you know how there's Rule 34, like, if it exists, there's porn for it? Like, this should be fucking Rule 35. Like, if there is porn, if there's an idea, somebody has made Solus porn of it.
Oh, God. Oh, God. I did not know about punching Dorian, and apparently neither did Jordan, so that's a thing.
Yeah, poor Dorian.
Why can't we only punch the mages? Yeah, that's a fair point. You can't punch anybody else except for the two of them.
No, you know what? That's very interesting.
I mean, you hit Bull with a stick, but he asks for it. He literally is like, "Please hit me."
He literally wants it.
Yeah.
Fun question here. In Mass Effect, did you punch Al-Jilani, the reporter?
No, why would I do that?
Okay, just wondering. It's like a meme. It's a thing that lots of people like to do.
No, I liked the reporter. I was savage with the politicians. I was like, yeah, fuck, man, they're trying to hide shit from you guys.
I love the fact that, especially in Mass Effect 1, the options to respond to her, like if you want to be like politically savvy, or if you want to be brutal, or if you want to just be kind of like middle, they're all really well written. Like they're very savvy, like media trained responses, and I always liked that Shepard could have that take on it.
I'm just genuinely surprised you could punch her. That seems like a bit of a overreaction.
Well, it is.
Damn.
It really is. And especially like in the first game, it's like, it's like the same punch animation that it always is. But in Mass Effect 2, and then by the time it gets to Mass Effect 3, like she just goes flying. Like it's just like when you punch her in 2, like there's a cutaway shot of her like flying through the air backwards.
Okay, we may have to do that on stream and then reload just so I can get the reaction.
If I'm not mistaken, though, because the saves all import, right, for Mass Effect 2 and 3, if you punch her in Mass Effect 1 and in Mass Effect 2, I think if you try to punch her in Mass Effect 3, she blocks you and she punches Shepard.
Damn! Well, I didn't punch her in 1, so...
If I'm not mistaken, I think that's a thing, to sort of like teach the player a lesson for just constantly brutalizing reporters.
Can you blame them? Who wants a microphone in their face? Oh, wait, I do that for a living.
I thought that was a fun turnaround, though. Like, if you just keep doing it, I'm pretty sure she does a thing where she blocks it and then hits Shepard.
Oh, man, I love it.
Okay, we've been on the screen long enough. Let us go forward to...
Cara, I think. This is the... Of course, we're ending on the most intense, sad chapter.
And kind of a cliffhanger. Not a cliffhanger, but it ends on a very exciting note.
Yeah. Well, it depends. I'm curious to see how you're going to do this. Who leaves their kid up at 9 o'clock at night?
This guy is such a mess.
God. He's fucking trash.
Dinner is ready.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Okay, I just have to say, Alex, with the great memory here, ME3, she, talking about Al-Jilani, she dodges once, says, "Not this time, you military thug," and you get a split-second chance to deck her against the wall. That's what it is.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, so, and people are starting to ask, what did I do the first time? I don't know if now's a good time to summarize while we're serving the food, or wait.
Wait until you get to the part where you have to make the choice of
there wasn't much in the kitchen.
Go upstairs or not.
I did what I could.
I'm so impressed that Cara was able to come up with spaghetti when there wasn't much in the kitchen. Like, when there's not much in the kitchen for me, I come up with Chick-fil-A.
God, I still need to have Chick-fil-A. Never had it.
Let's pour
Life's funny.
Yeah, when there's not much in the kitchen here, I just end up ordering Jet's Pizza, but I promise it's never the Mexican pizza. I would not do that to you.
Goddamn house.
You're allowed. You can try it.
I'm scared to.
Go out and hire a fucking android. What a joke.
Also, side note,
Androids
I didn't know this,
fucking wonderful.
but like, because normally I'm just like, oh, well, let me just not stand there awkwardly over them while they're eating, so I moved away a little bit. On my second one, I guess I moved away too fast, and Todd goes like, "Stop walking around, you're making me nervous," or something like that, and I'm like, whoa.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like if you walk away too far, if you do it too fast, like he gets agitated, and I was so just like, holy crap, what a great little detail for them to put in there.
I did not know that. Also, there are utensils on the table, Velociraptor. Don't worry.
They never fail. They're never tired. Never sad.
The way he says the word
Perfect. They ruined my
sad.
fucking life.
I mean, he's not wrong.
What are you looking at? What's your fucking problem? Not the life you dreamed of, eh? Maybe you think this is easy. Maybe you think it's my
It's so crazy to watch this outside of the
shithole.
cinematic angle, because then you can see Alice.
Mother took off.
Yeah.
You should stop drinking
The
drugs.
slow inching back like she knows what's coming.
Right.
Probably does.
Bitch took off without a word. Fucking whore walked out on me from fucking accounting. It's all your fault.
Daddy, no.
God, the voice acting he does though.
Oh boy, fucking hell.
Get back here.
I'll tell you something.
Come back
This
here.
is the third time
Come
I've
back
watched
here
the
right
scene now, and I cannot help. Like, I feel it in my chest every single time we get to that moment. Like, legitimately, it's like a holy shit thing, man.
Yeah.
It's rough to watch.
I know it's your fault.
Without saying too much about my own personal life, I've been there. It's not a fun thing to experience.
It's one of those things where I know some people landed on the side of, hey, this is too heavy, in the sense that they didn't think they did it, whatever, thoroughly enough, well enough, etc. And I understand people who feel that way. I just also think, look, they were trying to tell a powerful story about two people in Alice and Cara who ultimately stick together and find a better life for each other. I don't have any problems with the fact that they went with this subject matter, and on some sense, I'm glad that there's people out there who are trying to tell ultimately empowering stories about situations that start like this one.
Not only that, but it's true in most major cities like this. Wherever there's a crappy part of town, there are people who are addicted to something who end up doing this to their own families. It's such a repeating cycle, which is sad. And it's not always families, it's friends, it's partners, it's, the neighbor next door. You drunkenly walk into their backyard. There are way too many TikToks about that.
Yeah.
But I think the most telling part of who I am as a person is in the scene when he flips the table. My first thought was, well, there goes the pasta.
Someone's got to clean it up too. Oh yeah, like Jesus Christ. I mean, especially like, because you took the time to cook it, right? Like,
right.
Okay, so now we're at the moment. You start to move, which is, I think, anyone's natural reaction. The first time I was like, holy shit, Alice. And he immediately says, don't you fucking move. And you've got the game prompt that says, don't move. And then at this point, she's going to go deviant no matter what. At least, I assume she has to go deviant no matter what, right? There's no option where you can just literally stand there forever, right?
Oh, there is. You can just stand there.
I tried to do that just to see if it would happen, and I must have stood there for like 2 minutes and nothing happened.
Yeah, you just have to wait until the noises stop upstairs, basically.
Oh God. Okay. So we're spoiling it. Okay, we're going to talk about everything that happens in this chapter. So my question is there a version of this? Does he go up there and kill Alice? Is that a version? Can that happen?
If you do nothing, yes.
Oh,
that is what will eventually happen. That's what if you go back over to the left, that's what that little short ending is. That's if you just listen to your programming and you don't move.
Holy fuck.
We'll kill her.
And does that mean Cara's story ends right there, or does she escape without Alice?
No, her story ends. You do not play as her again.
Oh my God, that's insane.
Yeah, they make you stand there forever so that you're forced to really choose it.
Oh my God. That is honestly, like, it's heartbreaking and brilliant at the same time that option even exists.
Yeah, basically what happens is, and Christina just said the line in the chat, but you will get to a cutscene at the end of it where he will be putting her into her bed saying, Daddy isn't angry anymore. And it's just her body in the bed. Oh. It's real fucked up. Like, you gotta just only choose that if you're 100% completionist or you're just a bastard.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah.
I will say, kind of like as a spoiler for the whole thing, like I talked about how I went like, Connor being really mission driven and all this other stuff. On my first playthrough, like the Cara ending, I felt was perfect. I know maybe I'll figure out there's even better things I could have done, but I was so satisfied with like Luther surviving and like everyone sort of getting through border and everything. Like I feel like they made it. You know what I mean?
Honestly, you made the more difficult choice from your playthrough.
What's the more difficult choice?
You took the boat, right?
Took the boat. Wait, when did I take the boat? No, I don't think I took a boat.
Okay, how did you... You said that Alice and Cara get to Canada, right?
Yeah, they cross over the border, and it's one of the, what are they called? One of the other androids, the one that has the face that everybody has.
Yeah. Okay, so you did go to the bus terminal then.
Yes. Okay. So I think earlier we were saying you said train, but it was the bus.
I meant bus. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay because I thought that's what you meant too. But it was the bus thing, and I low key took those people's tickets.
So that is an option. Then I'm surprised you didn't get the scene there. So what did you do to Todd the first time? Tell me what you did.
Okay, so here's what I did with Todd. Like at first I thought like, okay, if I stand here, like maybe what's gonna happen? And I was like, okay, I think he went up there, right? And so when I saw him go up there, I'm like, fuck, okay, I'm not just gonna stand here. Like I thought maybe no, sorry. I tried to calm him down, which was a mistake because he was just high and it literally said on screen like Todd is too high to listen. And I was like, that is like one of the most oddly descriptive video game status updates ever. Todd is too high to listen. So then when he went up there, I'm like, fuck, I gotta get Alice. And from the prior mission, we had found out as we streamed last time, we know he has a gun. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta go save Alice. I immediately went, grabbed the gun, went in there. A fight ensued. I think I might have lost didn't do one of the quick time prompts in time. But I managed to get the gun back, shot Todd. Todd died, and then we ran out of there and got on the bus.
Okay, so you did kill him. If you get away without killing him...
Oh, I don't know what happens. Like this. Oh, see, this is the stuff.
Yeah.
This is the stuff where I don't know yet because I'm like... The second playthrough, which I've only started, I haven't finished, I figured out if you go right away while he's ranting and raving, you can get up there and you can escape before he has time to get to you.
Yeah, so there's a couple different moments in the game where he appears, and it's not just in Cara's line that he will appear if he does not die here, which is the really interesting part.
That is incredible. Yeah.
So it's totally up to you.
This is one of those things, right? Where like I don't know where this is going to go. I know Cara's story, and I'm fairly happy with Cara's story, doing it the way that I did on my first playthrough that I finished.
If you let him live, you get way more backstory about what happened to him.
Okay, I'm very curious
and why
about that.
Ultimately Alice exists.
That's what I want, honestly, because I don't know that yet.
So you just have to not fuck up the QuickTime events too badly.
Oh boy.
I mean, like, just don't die, basically.
That is very interesting because that's the first realization I had when on my second playthrough, when I made it out of there and got onto the bus. I'm like, okay, Todd is alive. Like, how is this going to affect the story later on? I just haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to do what you did your second time around and just run upstairs and grab her, do it. But just don't grab the gun. If you grab the gun, he will die.
Yes, because I also thought about that. I'm like, well, can I just grab the gun real quick and get out? But no, as soon as you go in his room, he's going to get ahead of you.
Yeah.
Oh, I just read another option in the chat. Didn't know that could happen.
Didn't know that could happen either, and I've played most of the options in this game, so...
That is insane!
Damn.
Actual Velociraptor, that's... Okay, so let's just... People could probably see it on screen also, right? Oh, wait a minute.
No.
Has the chat not been on screen this whole time?
I didn't notice, but I'm also reading it live and not when it pops up, so I think it's been gone this whole time. Whoops. I'm sorry, that's my bad.
No, that's okay. It's my fault too. I apologize about that, guys. I didn't realize that the chat had not been on screen this entire time.
Well, I'll read it. Actual Velociraptor said, Jordan, Alice can kill Todd. Let Alice shoot Todd. Get the gun and fail the prompts. And then he will die. Yeah, Haley pointed something out. You have to unlock the front door or go out the window. Testing. It's still not showing up.
Yeah, it's really not. And now it says disabled. 1 second. Sorry, yeah, so Actual Velociraptor was the one who gave us that tip. I just normally like for people to be able to see the chat if possible.
Agreed. We can see the box at this point.
Hey, there it is.
Alice killing Todd is a lot.
Alice killing Todd is... Holy crap, that's insane.
I'm gonna vote we don't do that. Mostly because I feel like a child shooting somebody is probably violating YouTube in some way.
Well, I don't know about all that, but it is intense, man.
Yeah. Whew. Well, the chat's back, so that's good.
Okay, I'm just now trying to... Very interesting. Okay, the chat is back. Let us now get back to the game. And yeah, I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to get up there before he does, and I want to see how this guy shows up later in the story, to be honest.
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
Took off.
Alex says play Beethoven and it's educational, like with Tamar.
Oh no! God, that's dark even for us.
Yeah, well. I just love her pushing through the wall.
One thing that I will say about this is, like, I wonder if I'm gonna live to regret this, because I know there has to be a world where I regret this.
Only if you fuck up really badly, honestly, and that's what I'm here for.
I honestly, like, so I'll say this right now, I don't know if this is a prediction or just a hope. Like, I kind of want there to be a world where Connor takes him out.
That is not an option, unfortunately.
Oh.
I wish, that'd be great. But maybe that's where you run into him.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, me too, Tall Warden. Tall Warden says, I like how they show the mechanics of going deviant. 100%.
Lock the door. Can I lock the door first?
I think so.
He's coming. He's gonna hurt me. Run! Get away, or he's gonna break you like last time.
Nope.
Alice! Alice! Daddy's coming! You need to be taught a lesson.
Okay, we're locking the door, and now we are getting the fuck out of here.
Oh god, I hate when he says daddy's coming.
This is intense, like, it is absolutely...
No, Cara! We'll fall!
It's the only way. Hurry, come on.
Alright, quick time event coming up.
Believe in you,
Fingers
Jordan.
don't fail me now.
I believe in you, Jordan.
Come back here right now!
Take it. Look at that back kick. Good job. Come on, Robot Mom, you can do it. Oh, fuck, I missed that up. I didn't do that at first. We fell. Okay, a little rough on the dismount there, Robot Mom, but you did it.
I mean, it could be worse.
I mean, they got out. That's what counts the most. They got out.
Oh, no matter what you do, that's always intense.
It is, and that's a real testament to how good the score is, how well choreographed it is. Like, absolutely, I feel you on that.
Oh. Yeah, there's... The way I did it was, the first time I played this, I missed the window, and we ended up fighting downstairs. It was a lot.
Oh, fucking hell, the game just crashed.
No!
I think it's still saved, because it was already on the flowchart. That has happened one other time while I've played the game. I really don't know what it is.
Maybe it's the same reason that it loves, or it hates OBS.
Could be. Could be. If anything, I think that this game it's probably some sort of DRM.
It could be, yeah. We'll have to see how it runs on my new supercomputer.
It doesn't play nice with other programs, but let me just make sure that that's saved. We're not quite at 2 hours, but it might. I don't know if we have time to do another chapter. So as long as it's saved, I think that might be a good stopping point.
Yeah, unless the
Accessing
next
the story
chapter is
chart.
Marcus, because that one's pretty short. It's just intense.
Oh, you're right. It is. The next one is. You know what? Actually,
Is it Marcus or is it?
It's Marcus.
Yeah, it is. Do you want to do it or do you want to wait till next time?
I'm trying to think about what's a better starting point. No, let me think here. Yeah, let's do that so that way Cara and Marcus are both deviant already.
And then we can start with, I think, Connor's chapter is the next one.
Ditto. Okay, so let's do continuate. Continuate. I just made up a word. I was going to do continuation and continue, and somehow I turned it into continuate.
I just found out that poliosis is a word.
Oh, all right.
I used to, I'm going to Google it because I can't remember what it is now. But I used to watch Jeff Dunham, and he made a joke about if you had polio and scoliosis at the same time, it would be called poliosis. But it's actually, it's a real thing. It's a patch of white hair that comes out of like your head or your eyelashes or something, and it's from having issues with your melanin or your pigmentation.
To meet you.
Yeah. No one gets.
That is such a Jeff Dunham joke, and I'm not saying I don't like it. I think I kind of do like it. It's just such a Jeff Dunham joke.
Oh yeah, totally. It's. I don't think it was an intentional one. If I'm remembering correctly, it was he misspoke a word. He was supposed to say polio, and he said poliosis because he was thinking scoliosis.
That's even better. All right, the Carl situation.
Scotch, neat as usual.
So are you going to do the thing we talked about, or are you going to do what you did
Okay, but you know what your
originally?
doctor would say.
Before I answer that question, I would just like to say that
My ass. I'm old enough
Carl
to
likes
choose my own
he likes
medication.
Scotch and he likes it neat. Therefore, he is a man after my own heart.
Oh hell yeah! Can you tell from the bottle that Marcus pours what type of Scotch it is?
I think they're all like a fictional brand that they made up for everything, but I assume it's just a really nice single malt.
My favorite part about going to Scotland last year was we were in Glasgow, which is where my granddad grew up.
No, I'm sure.
And we went into this bar, and they had a type of gin that was called Glaswegian gin, because that's what they call people who are from Glasgow, is Glaswegian
This
gin.
is Carl Manfred's
And
Android
I
in 941
so
Lafayette
wanted to bring a
Avenue.
bottle home.
We've just returned home and found the
Oh
lights
yeah,
on.
you're lucky.
There may have been
yeah.
a break-in.
A patrol car is on the way.
Let's go check it out.
Okay, here we go. So there's actually a weird branch. I don't think it matters to anything, but you can either go in with or without Carl.
Really?
He comes in either way. I think it's just kind of to me. It's like, well, why would honestly, like my instinct at first was to go in without him. But on my first playthrough, I kind of brought him in because I thought I had to. But then I saw the flowchart and I'm like, oh, I guess I could have just walked in first to make sure it's safe. But he comes in either way.
I did not know that.
Okay, so people in the chat who know what's coming, we already got people voting.
Yeah.
And I will explain what I'm going to do and why in a second here.
Marcus, no. I'm gonna come with you.
Leo.
Oh, look who's here. My father's
Yeah, actual
plastic
Velociraptor. I
toy.
agree. Someone in the
Leo.
chat said that
What's going on?
Cara
You refuse to help me, so
or
I'm
Marcus
helping
is a more
myself.
advanced model, and that's
It's
why he
crazy
can
when some people
contact the
pay for
police.
this shit.
Don't touch him.
And I wish Cara had
They're
been
all
able
gonna be mine sooner or later anyway. Just think of it as a down payment on my inheritance.
Marcus, get him away from there. Get him out of here.
Be reasonable. This isn't gonna get you anywhere.
All you ever do is tell me to go away. What's wrong, Dad? Not good enough for you? Not perfect, like this fucking thing?
That's enough. Get out right now.
What makes it so special anyway, huh? What's it got that I don't?
Leave him alone.
Come on, let's see what you got.
Marcus, don't defend yourself. You hear me? Don't do anything.
Oh god, I hate how he pushes him.
Go ahead, hit me. What you waiting for? Think you're a man? Act like one.
Stop it.
What's the matter? Too much of a pussy?
Stop it, Leo. Stop it.
Too scared to fight back, you fucking bitch.
I love this moment where he's like, don't defend myself, don't defend myself.
This isn't fair, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it blew my mind the first time I played this.
So as I'm about to get into the real crucial moment here, and I know people are saying, you know, asking, am I going to do a pacifist run? I've got some people in the chat saying, you know, don't hit Leo, all this other stuff. So I'm gonna do here at least what I did on my second playthrough so far, which is I am gonna do a pacifist run of Marcus, where I want it to be a successful one, where he makes it all the way through and sort of leads the movement, etc. I don't know what that's gonna look like, but I assume it's gonna be great. But I thought of something where I thought, like, Carl is trying to teach him to sort of be a pacifist, right? To not defend himself, etc. And for people that don't know, if you follow those orders and you don't fight back with Leo, Carl ends up dying. And if you fight Leo and Leo dies, or almost dies, Carl ends up living, but you kind of still have to go on the run.
Yeah, but then you get... How far have you gotten in your second playthrough?
Not that much farther than this.
You're gonna get a really great moment with Carl again.
So there's that, and then there's also the thing that I am... the point that I really think is crucial here is that...
Oh, right, that's right.
I'm going to pause to like collect my thoughts. Like, I really think that this is interesting because if you do the thing where you fight back and you hurt Leo and you that ruins Marcus's life at that point. To me, that is that sort of driving factor for why he actually embraces pacifism later on down the road.
I love that.
Because he lost his temper and it cost him everything, and he remembers that Carl was trying to tell him not to, and then that becomes the motivation for no matter what happens down the road. He knows now firsthand that violence will ruin everything.
That's a great way to look at it. I just looked at it from his perspective of like, this is so unfair. Why am I being told not to defend myself?
Yeah.
But I like your view of it better.
And Boo in the chat has the opposite, which I also think is true, is that if you don't fight back and Carl dies as a result, that sends him into the rage of like, this is what happens when you don't defend yourself. So I think that these moments have to be polarized. In my opinion, they don't have to be, but for role play, I think it's interesting to sort of polarize the inciting incident in what he does later.
I agree 100%.
I forgot you're not a
so
real
in this
person.
case,
You're just a fucking piece of plastic.
Leo's taking his ass beat.
Fuck yeah. Teach him what it means to be an android.
It'll just be me and my dad.
Oh, just that one push though. Dang, and the sound effect is rough.
Yeah. Oh.
Leo. Oh my God.
And Carl just crawling across the floor too.
Leo. My little boy.
Carl,
They'll destroy you, Marcus. You gotta go. Get out of here.
Carl, I didn't mean to.
Get out! Now! Go! Marcus!
Don't fucking move!
Oh boy.
Whew. Oh.
Yeah,
God.
crazy. Absolutely powerful scene, and just, yeah.
And this is one of the only branches where there's literally only two choices in the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what a way to end this episode of Detroit.
There's a lot of chapters that end that end with a whoa kind of a moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, feed off for Marcus. Oh, Velociraptor getting too real. He said if that was a real cop, it would have been more than one bullet.
For the scenes that come up after this, though, wow! Like especially the scene where, because we will say, yeah, Marcus took one to the robot dome, but he is not done. And yeah, the next chapter with Marcus is powerful and very interesting. And I have a lot of things to say about the thematics of that scene.
I have a couple of Easter eggs to point out to you too when we get there.
Very nice. So yeah, I'll hit continue, but we're gonna pause here. The next chapter will technically be the interrogation with Connor.
Oh.
We can do that next time. Stay tuned, everybody. I'll share more on Twitter at the Exalted March as far as when the next stream date will be, etc. All of our information, mine and Aaron's, would be down in the description below. Any other thoughts to close on?
God, they just do such a amazing job of making you connect to these characters so quickly, and it just gets you deep. This is not a game you should be playing right before bed, as I say, at 9:15 at night my time. So, and somebody's asking if I'm Katie. No, I wish. That would be great. Oh man, yeah. Thanks for having me again. This was awesome. I can't wait to see what you do next. I also fear what you do next.
Oh, it's gonna be great. Well, thanks for streaming with me and for getting me onto this game. It was always on my to play list, but you were really telling me about it, and I decided, heck, this would be a fun thing. This would be a fun thing to stream. So yeah, we'll continue on next time.
Heck yeah, and theoretically, I might be able to start streaming Mass Effect 2 this weekend on my channel. So
very
thanks
fun.
for that.
Yeah, you are welcome. All right, folks. Everybody, have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe out there, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Be good.